and it's the celebration of Uganda Matters in the north, in Agago district. And you might be there wondering and asking yourself, wow, matters in the northern region of the nation. But yes, there were two prominent Christians who gave their lives for their belief. And there's a campaign running. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya, has launched a fundraising towards the centennial celebrations for the martyrdom of Daudi Okello and Jildo Irwa, which are to take place in Pai Mall, sub-county Agago district. So I have the Honorable Jacob Olanya, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, here in studio, and next to him is Father Joseph Okumu, the Rector of the Pai Mall Wipolo Shrine. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you, Baldwin.
Honorable Jacob Olanya, of course, it's pretty strange, as I told you, I wish to engage you in the political governance realm, but I've been caught offside.
Yeah, today I've survived that one.
Okay.
So today we are dealing with a very...
Yes. So you're looking at raising about 600 million Uganda shillings as to celebrate these two Christian matters next month.
Yes.
Just help us elaborate on this particular campaign and give us a bit of the reason why you've chosen to be the campaign leader.
No, frankly, I don't know, but I'm delighted that the Archbishop of Gulo Archdiocese, Archbishop John Baptist Odama, gave me the responsibility to try and coordinate activities in Kampala to raise money, raise awareness, and invite people to participate in this 100 years celebration of the martyrdom of Daudi Okello and Jildo Irwa. I am delighted to be part of the team that is trying to put money together to support the celebration, to build the shrine to what is recognizable, so that it becomes a site for pilgrimage. I don't know why he chose me, but he chose me. But you see, the thing about the matters, the Jildo Irwa and Daudi Okello, is that as young people we got inspired by their life and by what they did. In the little books that we used to read as children, they were put there. And it caused us as young people to really ask ourselves, who are these people? What was in their mind? Why did they do that? So in asking those questions, then we got answers from the people who were teaching us, introducing us into Christianity. They say, they believed strongly in their faith. So when their faith was challenged, when the issues they were dealing with, because at that time there were issues to do with slavery, issues to do with witchcraft, and because of their teaching there was a belief that is because of this new religion, that is why the community was suffering this drought and all these other problems. So they started blaming this on this new religion that these young people were preaching. So they told them to stop. They said, but why should we stop? We don't believe that the things that are happening in our community is right. And our faith tells us to inform you that you should change your ways, turn away from witchcraft and all these other things that are going on. Do not support the enslavement of other people and all these things that you are doing. So it's well, if you don't stop, then you leave us with no option. So it's well, we will continue. So they continued, and eventually they ended up being killed. And when they were killed, of course, there had been a process.
Killed by who? Killed
by the community for their faith. And over time, Father Joe here has been involved in the process of trying to see where these matters and all these questions went to Rome, and all the process they have now been canonized. They are waiting for the final program on how they can now be actually given the final recognition by the Pope and the Catholic fraternity. So that's why we are here. 100 years ago, next month, is when they were killed. So what does it demonstrate to us now, as young people? What does this story tell us? Because when you die for your faith, the commitment and belief firmly in it, you are a martyr. But why are you dying for it? When your faith is challenged, and when you believe that the things you are doing is the right thing your faith tells you to do, and then you are called upon to denounce it. Say, no, I will go for my faith. You believe so firmly that you're prepared to die for it. It happened in Namugongo when people were burnt. They walked into the fire. It happened with Janani Loum when things were so tough. And he put his life, say, well, for people and for the right thing to be done in our country, do whatever you please, but I'll communicate to the people what I think is right. So it's this kind of people that inspire some of us, and that should inspire the younger generation, that in doing the right thing, you can achieve better things for humanity and for everybody else.
All right, and of course for this current situation and generation, there's a lot of fervor for making sure to stand up for something.
Yes, and you know there's this saying that if you don't stand for anything, then you fall for everything.
Yes, so Father Joseph, what she insinuated about, of course, the most renowned of the martyrs, the 22 Catholic converts who were killed here, the 23 Anglicans, and usually they are celebrated from here, from Namugongo and from Nyonyo. You have pushed this particular event, isolated it from the usual celebrations which are done from Central Region. You need to give a justification of that, and of course some kind of historical background, just in supplementation to what he's saying. So just justify why this isolated celebration and a little bit of more light.
Yeah, thank you, viewers. I think it's not really isolation. Mm-hmm. It's really a continuation. We have got here, a description of a poetic, I would say, description of what has happened in Namugongo between 1885 and 1887, and the one that happened in Paimol in 1918. We said it's as if, like, you had the blood of the martyrs, because we will remember the old saying of Tertullian, who was the African writer of theology many years, before Christ, and the writings actually as a wisdom, rather, many years at the beginning of Christianity, who says the blood of the martyr is the beginning of Christianity, is the seed of Christianity, makes Christianity grow even more. So poetically we look at it this way, like the blood is flowing from Namugongo from the start, and through the Nile rivers, and goes to the north, and now certainly irrigating the whole of Africa. We're talking about evangelization of the whole continent. Mm-hmm. Now this is important. Now it excites me, as older than Jacob, to see. I knew them when they were young people. When they get inspired by this kind of thing, and inspired like these young people into leadership, inspired into offering for people, it's the celebration in Agago Paimol place, actually, which was named by the local people Wipolo, in Achole, meaning heaven, now means this localization of the place set apart for the martyrs. It's like, Munyonyo now, you have also a sacred place. Shrines actually mean sacred places. It's santuario in Italian, or sanctuary means place set apart. Set apart for what? For divine activity, for divine meeting, the humans. So when you get these places actually multiplied, tomorrow there's going to be one in among the Madi and Briani, which Archbishop Odama is going to, and then there is one also in Lira, Icheme. These shrines in Muchwini, Jan and Loum, the people themselves move in to set aside these places, which is important. It tells you how religion is talking in the heart of the young people today, in all the peoples, and it gives you a lot of hope when it talks, especially meaningful to young people. people, because it's not dying. It's not a tired story.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, understood indeed. We need to make sure that we keep on showing esteem to the people who are passionate about their beliefs. So, Honorable Jacob,
yes.
What value do celebrations as this really add to the betterment and development of our nation? Because some of us just look at these as just ritualistic symbols and pious motions that just for purposes of making a show of religious solidarity, but there isn't much of a significant contribution really to the betterment of society itself. People go there, they have some kind of ritualistic emotion, but nothing better to gain from that.
You see, when you call it celebration, it kind of misses the point. But if you call it commemoration, it captures the spirit. What are you commemorating? And then you remember that you are commemorating an event where two young people gave their life for their faith. And when you talk about celebration, that is what you're celebrating. That spirit of sacrifice, that spirit of martyrdom, that in whatever you believe in, you have to believe in it so firmly that you're able to propagate it, and if need be, you can give up life for it, because you firmly believe that is the right thing to do. So that is what you commemorate, and that is what you celebrate. So in celebrating Jildo, Irwa, and Daudi, Okello, what are we celebrating? We are celebrating that strong belief, that faith, and the courage to live by that faith. And this should inspire all of us in our different spheres of life. So the question is, in asking, in doing the commemoration, you ask yourself, as an individual, in the commemoration I'm doing now, what have I done as an individual to move forward what has been done by the people before me? Example of the people we celebrate today. In my life, what have I done to make a difference? What have I done to make a contribution? What have I done to change human life and make humanity something that can be celebrated?
And it doesn't necessarily have to be religious, a religious stand. It can be just...
It's really, you look at it this way. You know, we admire what our people, our sportsmen and women do, isn't it? They are excellent. Say, if they are a runner, this one is really, we give them golden medal. But how does he get there? We celebrate the reception of golden medal, right? But you know,
the process of getting
it, by the way, in theology and in religion, we call it cultivation of virtue. You know, virtue is acquired over time. So the virtue of faith, Honorable Deputy Speaker is talking about. You don't acquire faith, you know, God doesn't give you one day, it drops like that and it stays. It lives on. You continue nurturing it, and it grows slowly by slowly in you. And people admire the way you practice it, the way you live it every day.
So in other words, the virtue of faith is not just the profession of the faith, it's the price you pay for the faith.
Exactly.
How much for you?
The journey along.
Yeah, and I think that principle is good. Now, just because of time constraints, help us just understand the schedule prospects of this event. And of course, Honorable, I will come to you just lastly to help us and to let the public know how they should come and support you. So what is the schedule? What is what peculiarities should we expect in that whole function? Yeah,
the celebration actually starts already even before 9th October, which is our National Independence Day, and every day there are always, you know,
those two images on the screen are the
there are different activities going on, prayers going on, and different celebrants coming in, maybe bishops coming from different countries. We had already actually celebrated one with the bishops from South Africa. They came in on 28th of May. They celebrated, and the people are continuing now. Different groups, priests coming with their people, and young people, you know, even taking time off. to be silent. You know, sometimes we're so used to talking to God, commanding God, and so on. So we need to give time to God to talk again to us also. You know, so that's a place where that's part of the celebration of the of the faith that will be climaxed on the 20th October. But so we are moving with that, and then there are also exercises of like reconciliation, personal issues to say, okay, for me, once I get out of here, I think here is my weakness. I am going to say no, so I'm going to take, you know, the right things now to do. I want to be excellent like these people. So we have put also that in place. So the program is going on, and then there are others who come and say, okay, we're just going to work here to show that we really for this important theological cause of faith and courage, so we are going to work. I don't have money, I don't have what, I'm going to work. Then also there are a group of people that soon start beginning to walk. They're walking on foot. Now it will be very important for us people that meet the pilgrims on the way, for example, to offer them a glass of water, to offer them, let us say, a banana, to offer them, you know, like they've been doing when people walk from Lira, from Kitgum, from Karamoja to Namugongo, they are offered bananas, glasses of water, and so on. That's the kind of spirit that we want to see in this country, that has been inspired by the 22 Catholic martyrs, 23 Protestant Anglican martyrs, and then these two others now in northern Uganda. Look, it's going to flow up north now.
The two are Anglican, the Anglican.
The two are Catholics now.
They're Catholic?
Yeah, these are Catholics. David Okello and Jildo Irwa are Catholics.
All right.
And of course, Janan in the womb is Anglican. Yeah, so you just imagine pictorially, you imagine now the flow, you know, north down, and it's our hope really that the whole country, because Uganda is believed to be the country of martyrs.
All right, and of course, thank you, Father Joseph. Now, Honorable Jacob, you are looking for 600 million.
Yes.
And so how do you want to have this money? Do you feel the public should really trust you as a politician? Because we know you're close to the echelons of power where you can just, press a button and 1 billion is available for your reception. So what is the essence of doing the fundraising campaign when...
An event like this is not for one person to bankroll.
Okay.
It's about participation and ownership of the process. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, even 5,000 shillings, even 1,000
So how do people do
even
that?
100 shillings, you can make a contribution to this. So we have been in the process of fundraising. We held a luncheon, which was about a month ago, and people came and they made their contribution. Tomorrow evening we have a dinner which is going to be hosted here at the Serena Hotel, and we're expecting corporates to come and individuals who feel inspired to come and support this cause to come and make their contribution. And we have established a group of people in the office of the Deputy Speaker who is coordinating this, and the accounts are directly with the Paimol Matters. Actually, we have 2 bank accounts. One is Blessed Okello and Irwa Fund, which is a Centenary Bank, and also We Polo Shrine Development Fund at Bank of Africa. All these details are there. So the money does not come to us. The money goes straight to the accounts and where Father Joe is managing. We have already made some contribution and sent some money there, which is being used actually. If you go to Paimol, to the We Polo Shrine right now, you see that there are some changes that has happened as a result of the money that we have been able to collect.
So you're looking for general society contribution.
General society contribution.
Use the banking system.
Yes.
Do you think it will be effective enough? Just trying to understand.
Yeah, but we are also receiving money in the office of the Deputy Speaker. There's a lady, there are 2 ladies called Christine.
No, that's far-fetched.
Yes, yes.
Honorable.
Yes.
What about, because I have to walk, let me imagine, from Ginger and then come to the Deputy Speaker's office
Yes.
to do that contribution. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. But you see, they are contributing by mobile money, but all those whatever means is possible to transfer money is actually being activated to be able to make people participate in the contribution. So tomorrow we have this dinner, and everybody is invited. If you can come to the Serena and be part of it, will be at 6 p.m. At Serena here, and come and participate and make whatever contribution you can make, or even just be present to listen to the intercessions from Father Joe and all other leaders who will be here. The event itself will take place on the 20th of October. And you are invited, all is invited to come and participate and be part of this. Let me tell you, I first went for the celebrations in the year 2016, and you may not believe it, I did not come back the same person. A lot of things changed when I looked at the perspective, when I looked at what has happened, and I walked the little journey that these people walked. I saw where they walked, almost similar to a journey when I went to Israel a few months ago. I'm going back there on Saturday. You see, you feel this connection, and the questions you ask become real questions, and which really begin to shape how you handle things that come before you. So these are some of the things that can help us focus. So the activities will be on the 20th of October, and for in the case of those who want to travel there, there will be transport arranged from Parliament, which will be leaving on the 19th, because Paimol is not very near. It can take about 5 hours to get there. So we are expecting that people will leave on the 19th, so that they are there by early morning of the 20th to begin the commemoration and celebrations of the life of the two martyrs. So we'll be arranging transportation from Parliament as well. That is what we are planning to do. Yes.
Thank you, Honourable. Now, Father Joe, just have been given some extra minutes here. Is the infrastructure set to receive this whole congregation that you're trying to solicit for to come and participate with you? And then the other issue is about the feeling of over-commercialization of these martyrdom stories or histories. We are not clear about whether the motives and objectives of such events, they are really for the spiritual betterment of society, other than just commercialization and making sure that you have this pomp of religiosity and sanctimonious parading of the religious elite and of course politicians who are with you on the same front line. So is the infrastructure set, and is this a justifiable motive for you other than just being commercial? So
yeah, infrastructure. I have been appointed a rector of Paimon Shrine in 2013. And I have tried to, I lived with the people of Paimol in the villages. I am an anthropologist by background. So everything that I see, that I live with and so on, gives me, it tells a lot about the people and talks a lot to my heart and to the hearts of, just as it talks to the heart of the people themselves. So I was able to live with them, and eventually some people came and donated money, and I built a residence for the priest, the presbytery. Secondly, I needed place for people to pray. So precisely the money Deputy Speaker is talking about is not to pay food for someone, it's not to do what, it's not or to but it's going to look to cater for the infrastructure. Just think, last year we had 140 people from South Sudan. Now they walked, they came. I would love to receive them in the rain. I like to have them in a dormitory, a place. At last they have arrived, let them pray comfortably. And then this celebration is catering also for water. Paimol is a difficult place to get water, so you need water for people that arrive. And so things like, all those things, they need to be in place. That's what we are after.
Are there food places like restaurants, some hotels, some lodges?
Well, that
matters also, that you're not going to only be looking at people who are looking at basic environment survival mechanisms. But I would wish to go perhaps and be staying in a hotel, in a lodge. I need to eat good food in a restaurant, in as much as I'm trying to appear sanctimonious by reflecting on the pain that these people enjoy.
We're not going to ask people so that we build hotels, so that we build as church.
Not as church.
Yes.
I'm talking about the private sector system.
We are asking people to come and provide these possibilities to the people. By the way, you can come and say, okay, people, we want to put up hotels here, we want to do it here, we want to do water here, we want to provide this, we want to provide religious articles and so on. These things, they help people to pray. Mine, or the priests, or the church's responsibility here is to see that this is helping you to pray all through the year and all through life. That is, and as I said, I also do like spiritual guide reflections, whereby I even encourage people gifted in yoga and so on. People are stressed. Yoga.
Okay.
Yoga.
I thought that's not a Christian religious practice.
Yeah, but is it created by God and good? You like it? So we encourage all that kind of thing. Ugandans are stressed. They have no time for themselves, running from one job after another and so on. And take time off and let God talk to you. Stop commanding God. Stop asking always. But also at least admire.
Yes. Okay. So thank you, Father. Honorable Jacob, it's interesting that we are spiritual at this moment and we're discussing spiritual matters. Let me just ask you a personal question, which I find really quite sentimental on my part. You have all these political echelons and people who are literally entangled with the religious leaders and of course systems, and portraying themselves to be spiritually very entrenched, and they are devout, including you. Do you feel that really you are reflecting exactly what you're talking about in your particular public service, of course even in your private life? Do you think that you as politicians have actually done proper service to reflect the very fervor that you're talking about in the martyrdom expression, the zeal that these people had for making sure that they stand for what is right, for what is true, what is honorable? Do you feel that you are really reflecting that?
People are inspired by different things, and people are guided by different things. Personally, for me, what I do, my job as deputy speaker, when I go and I'm presiding, there are three basic questions that I ask myself. Is it okay with my beliefs? And my belief is deeply rooted in what I'm talking about now. It's very spiritual. It may not really reveal that much, but it's deeply spiritual. Is it okay with what the law is saying? Does it sit well with me? If I go back home, will I sleep soundly? It's this comfort, this level of comfort that is okay with my God, it's okay with the law, and it's okay with my own spirit. That's what guides me. And so many people have lived by that, and they inspire me. And those are the kind of people we look for. So people are inspired by different kinds of people. There are those who make so much sacrifice to make other people live, to make other people realize their own potential. Those are my true heroes. Those who make sacrifices, those who move away from their zone of comfort, and they come and make that contribution that enables people to live their potential. Those are my true heroes. And I believe, and I keep saying, if Jesus wanted comfort, he would have stayed in heaven. But he chose to come down on earth and suffer the indignation, the mistreatment, and eventual death in order that he could save the human race, that he could save people. And that's what guides me. So if Jesus can walk out of comfort and come and suffer, that I can live, what is left of me as me? What little sacrifice can I make? What little comfort can I forego in order that I make a contribution. That is positive, not for me, but to the general people. So these little things inspire some of us. I don't know what will inspire other people, but for me, that's what inspires me. Look at my trail as an individual. Then you'll find that the things that I try to do, the things that I insist on, are things I believe in deeply. And this comes from the inspiration that I get from people like Jildo, Irwa, Daudi, Okello, the martyrs of Namugongo, the late Archbishop Janane Luwum, Jesus Christ himself. When I went to Jerusalem, I told you I'm going back there. Struggling to connect, I profess, I speak to you. I never met Jesus Christ, but I testify to his goodness all day long, all night long, anytime I get the point. Because what he did inspires me. It makes me believe that even one person can change things. People like William Wilberforce, not just a minority in number. He was even very small and sickly. Look at what he did to change life of people. He moved to abolish slavery, something that was practiced by entire British government and supported by it. He changed it. Now these kinds of people that cause changes are the ones that inspire me. The life of Nelson Mandela and people like that. Life of people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Those lives inspire us. And if you trace all of them, you'll find that they are deeply rooted in faith. Faith and belief that their Creator made them to have, and that their Creator guides them. That is the fundamental principle that guides some of us. I don't know about other people. I speak for myself.
Well said. I needed that to be extrapolated really from you as a personal experience and perspective.
Yes.
Well said. Just as we're wrapping up, I think finally, Father Joe, so we need to understand, you know, when you look at the historical Christian celebrants that we're looking at, including these martyrs, or the people in the history of the books of the Bible itself, they were so fundamental in making sure that transformation was actually produced in society, that they were a church of power. Okay, apparently it seems, especially in the Ugandan context, that actually the power of the church is government. That government has become literally the superintendent of the church, to the extent that really you have to, okay, this is not to insult, I'm just trying to make an analysis, that you have to have Honorable Jacob Oulanyah to spearhead a campaign to fundraise for this cause, which makes political figures to be actually the forefront runners for your purposes. So how do you feel you're really powerful? What have you done for Agago as perhaps, let me say, parish, or as wherever you are situated as a church? And do you feel that you have power over the politicians and politics other than the other way around?
Yes, true. In Agago right now, what is happening is certainly happening. Yeah, you can say independently of politicians, but I think it's happening with also politicians, well, you know, putting them in their right place. There's a lot of collaboration going on, like the whole of the plan of the particular place in Paimol has been declared a township now, this year, and we provided the plan. And we provided, you know, the people that are there in this place, actually, we are looking after schools around the place. This is the traditional thing that the church brings in every year, every time the church goes to a new place. So we're looking at you know, clinics or dispensaries, or even bettering the ones that are there, you know, to make it really better. So we're not going to government and say, okay, you give us this. We try to do, if they want to come in to add into that, I think they come in and add so that there are two hands that are doing, you know, one big job for the people. So I think, yes, it may happen that in other places you have you know, maybe the church in the background and pushing maybe governments or so in the front. I think this is not, there should be a collaboration that is developing the people, that is developing the area, and the church also talking, I think, to the government so that that development is happening in the government in a correct way.
Okay, brilliantly said, and it's very fundamental that the church is doing something. So lastly, Honorable Olanya, you're going to help us, of course, give us the mobile number so that the common person who is perhaps not going to be very present there can make a contribution if they want to. But the last question, philosophically, I want you to answer, it's just related to this. Is the relationship between the church and the state, or the politicians, or the political frontiers, supposed to coexist in a symbiotic manner, in a superintendent setup whereby perhaps the politician has more say? Because you've had the argument from your own government, which you're representative, that the church should not be engrossed in even just commenting about political matters, okay? And yet you are impassioned that people should be standing up for what they believe. But the state, the government which you run, does somehow not actually permit that. So what is the right stand that society should be guided by for church to make sure that it can be impactful? Should we simply collaborate and symbiotically co-depend between politicians and the church? Should the church somehow set the tone of moral leadership and of course the visionary direction, or should it be the other way around?
No, but I think the issue is not really about politics, religion, and so on and so forth. The real issue is there are people, human beings, individuals, and they all have different callings. But what is the purpose of humanity? What is the purpose of a human being? If you call up the spirit of Ubuntu, I am because we are. I am a politician because we are. And the we, as politicians, as religious people, as all kinds of people, including thieves. Yes.
True. Jesus himself came for thieves.
I am because we are. Now the question is, how do I make my contribution to the we are, to make the we are a meaningful thing to believe in, a meaningful thing to support? The we are, how do I make it a comfortable humanity engagement? Because I am a politician. My relationship with the religious leaders should be able to support the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we are. So the question is, how should a politician articulate these issues that should contribute to the general good? And how should the religious person articulate these issues that also should contribute to the general good? And in practice, these issues are separated. The way a religious person will address the same issue should not be the same way a politician addresses the issue. The day the politician begins speaking, the religious person begins speaking like a politician, then he should become a politician, so that there is no mix-up of the issue. So there are ways, the ways we articulate these things is what should determine where our launch pad is. And that is what should be respected. If you are coming from the church, articulate it in according to those principles that govern how you should deal with these issues. If I'm a politician, I should do the same. If you're a soldier, you should do the same. But whatever you do must be able to contribute to the same holistic thing called the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we are. And the we are should be presented in an equilibrium state, where anything wrong done should upset the equilibrium and ask for accountability, whether from any individual. If you upset the equilibrium, it must be a responsible thing for you to account so that you restore the equilibrium. So my own belief is that we all have responsibility to make a contribution to humanity. How we do them is what is important. How we do them is what we should respect. I should, as a politician, respect the way the religious leader does his, remaining in his or her spheres. The religious leader should also respect the way me, as a politician, articulate these issues in making this universal contribution to humanity. So that for me, that is what I believe in. All of us, each of us, you cannot say you cannot do this. Even Jesus Christ, when things were bad, had to step out and do a few things. Even God, if you read the scriptures, he'll tell you he's always on the side of people who are suffering. The story of Exodus and all the things will tell you the full story of where God stands in these issues. So God will always call upon his children to do the right thing. At whatever cost, they should do the right thing. But that right thing must contribute, inspire a positive spirit in support, but not negative spirit.
For the general well-being of the society, the Ubuntu. So, okay, just
if you feel really inspired by this, if you feel you need to support this, which is a good cause for humanity, can make a small contribution. I'll give you a number that you can write down now to send your mobile money, and follow up with a message of your name. The number is 0772 61 3517. I repeat, 0772 61 3517. Send your mobile money contribution to that. It doesn't matter the amount, and that goes straight to the director of the shrine, Father Joseph Okumu, who is here in the studio with me, or call Christine Chandiro, who is coordinating these operations. Our number is 0775 591711. Christine Chandiro, 0775 591711. Don't call me.
Yes.
Call Christine, because you might not find me and you get frustrated, but Christine's line is open all the time, and if you need to make a contribution, just send it straight to the phone number of Father Joseph Okumu, which I have just given. Also the account numbers we will be sharing. Should I give it now?
Yeah, I think,
just yes. There is an account number, Blessed Okello and Irwa Fund. It is at Centenary Bank. Account number is 752 06 00019. That is Centenary Bank. 752 06 00019. And also those who have access to Bank of Africa, all these banks are now interlinked. You can bank from any branch. Bank of Africa, Wipolo Shrine Development Fund. It's 068 0069 0005.
Indeed.
I repeat, 068 0069 0005. That is Wipolo Shrine Development Fund at Bank of Africa. And this second account is the one we have been using for the money that we have been collecting, which goes straight, and there's a branch in close to the shrine, which Father Joseph has access to immediately once the fund reaches there. So please make your contribution. And those of you who have been invited for this evening dinner, and now I'm extending the invitation to you to come to Serena, join us. We break bread and eat together and see what we can raise to support this noble cause of celebrating the matters of Paimol, Daudi Okello and Jildo Irwa.
Great
May
job.
God bless you.
Indeed. Thank you, Honorable Langa. It's been such an honorable and indeed a very gracious occasion for you to be in our studios. And I think we need to note, I've been informed that our company, NTV, has made a contribution to that effect already.
And I want to thank NTV because this is part of the contribution it has made to support the cause. They have given us this airtime. So I want to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be looking at you when you're making those decisions in Parliament. Father Joseph, a brilliant job. We know the places you work in and the issues you're grappling with on those local grounds are incredibly challenging and enormous. But thank you for standing in there, and God bless your efforts. And thanks our viewers for keeping with us this morning. I'm called Karagawa Baldwins, and we're going to continue with our incredible, splendid programming. Keep looked on to NTV. God bless indeed.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
When you passion